A long time ago, in a world much like ours, there was a boy named Ryan who thought he was already a man. Ryan was 11 years old, almost 12, and convinced he knew it all, though, in truth, most of his answers were wrong. That boy, however, was me. I often hung out with older kids, believing it would make me seem cooler. How mistaken I was. At 11, I was eagerly looking ahead to high school, which felt just around the corner, well, more like 4 years away. But I still looked like a kid in grammar school, and the teasing was constant. The mean kids in school would joke that I should still be in elementary school. That was hard to take, especially since my little sister had just finished kindergarten, and while she's closer to average height for her age, I like to say she was big for her age, even though, secretly, she was taller than me. But I'll never admit that. Speaking of family, there's Lucy, my sister, and our twin sisters who are 16 and will be juniors when school starts back. It's summer, and I'm looking forward to spending it by the shore here in South Jersey, New Jersey, for anyone who's not from around here. It all started innocently enough with my friend suggesting a cruise. Turns out, he didn't even have a permit, let alone a license, and no permission to drive his parents' car. I was just excited to know someone with a car. I never thought to ask the important questions, which I would eventually learn to do the hard way. So there we were, cruising around in an old convertible, the top down, the wind in my face. My long blonde hair was flying around like something out of a commercial. By the way, my hair was my pride. It fell halfway down my back, all one length, parted down the middle. My parents didn't quite understand it, always complaining when my hair wasn't tied up in a ponytail. They'd say it made me look like a girl, but I ignored them. After all, what do parents know? Thinking back, I can't count how many times people mistook me for a girl, especially when I went shopping with my mom. Just the other day, we were headed to the restroom, and as I turned to go into the men's room, an elderly man stopped me. "Hold up, little girl, this is the men's room. You need to use the ladies' room, okay?" I stared at him like he had two heads. What? I thought, but he just repeated himself. "Yeah, sweetie, you need to go with your mom." Just as I was about to say something, I heard the janitor, who was blocking the men's room with a sign, chime in. I felt bewildered as he went on, completely ignoring the fact that I was actually an 11-year-old boy. My mom, standing behind me, explained. "Sweetie, this is the ladies' room. Let's go in together." I was about to protest, but before I could, she gently tugged me behind her into the women's bathroom. "Mom, I can't be in here." "What if someone finds out?" I asked, looking around, utterly out of place. Wow, it's so much cleaner in here, and it even smells nicer. Mom was busy fixing my hair, tying it up into a neat ponytail with a pink hair tie. "Don't worry, sweetie," she said, "we'll make sure no one notices." Mom, I'm not 7 like my sister. She always teases me about how short and small I am. She looked at me with a smile, shaking her head. "Just sit down, wash your hands when you're done, and make sure to flush." She gave me a light pat on the back as I reluctantly went into the stall. To sum it up, I didn't leave until the bathroom was empty. To say I was surprised would be an understatement. When I stepped out of the bathroom stall and saw the reflection of a little girl walking to the counter to wash her hands, I almost froze. It was surreal to see how easily I had been transformed into someone who looked so much younger, like a girl, even. Actually, I should say how easily my mom made me look like a little girl. Okay, I'm getting carried away with that memory. Let me refocus. That was the first time my mom just let people think I was a girl. At first, she would correct them, but as my hair grew longer, she stopped pointing it out. It seemed easier to just go along with it. Back to the story now. My friend and I were cruising down the parkway heading south toward Atlantic City when the road split. One path led to Atlantic City, and the other to Florida. I thought we'd just head to Atlantic City for an hour and then turn back home. I was smiling, enjoying the ride, when my friend passed me a joint. I'd never smoked before, but I didn't want to look uncool, so I took a hit. Of course, I ended up choking and coughing uncontrollably. That whole cool act was out the window after that, especially since the windows and top were down. But Chris didn't seem to care. Oh, I didn't mention my friend's name earlier. His name is Chris. I guess I got a little distracted. Too much caffeine, maybe. I chuckled at myself. Chris passed the exit for Atlantic City, and I assumed we'd turn around at the next one. But then a couple of girls in bikinis waved at us from a car, and Chris and I just waved back, continuing to smoke. I was feeling relaxed, not noticing the panic on Chris's face as all the other cars slowed down for the toll booth, except for us. I looked over at Chris, and I could see his foot desperately pressing the brake, but nothing was happening. The car was slowing down, but not nearly fast enough. The brakes aren't working, man. We're gonna crash. Hide the pot and hold on, Chris shouted. I didn't know how to respond, but I could see the panic in his eyes as we swerved to avoid a car stopped in front of us, only to crash into the concrete barrier protecting the toll collector. The whole accident felt like it was happening in slow motion. I could see everything, the cars around us, and the people in those cars, all staring at us. Maybe it was the fact that I was stoned, but I was hyper-aware of everything. I couldn't do anything but watch. After the crash, I snapped back to reality, mostly because back then, we didn't always wear seat belts. In fact, I'm not sure that car even had them. It wasn't until the law required them that people really started using seat belts. I jumped out of the convertible, feeling like the car might explode at any second. In case I forgot to mention, this story takes place in 1975. I'm not stoned as I'm writing this, though a little buzz might help my brain keep up with my fingers. Anyway, I leapt out of the car and saw Chris already outside, staring at the damage. The bumper had a small dent, enough to push it into the tire and make the car undrivable. Wow, Chris, that was intense. I thought we were done for. How fast were we going when we hit that barrier? I said, looking around at all the people watching us. They were all staring, probably wondering how these two idiots managed to crash into the toll booth on the Jersey Parkway. I turned to see Chris grinning from ear to ear, staring at me. You're definitely feeling it, huh? He laughed. I smiled and looked around. A custom van with shiny chrome rims and a flashy paint job cruised by. A girl in the front seat waved at us and called out. She seemed to be having a great time, smiling and yelling at us. Check out those two, they must be completely out of it, she said, pointing at us and laughing. I couldn't help myself, I burst out laughing too, for no reason at all. I couldn't stop, tears streamed down my face as I laughed harder and harder, feeling like my chest was going to burst from it. As the van's sliding door closed, Chris slapped me on the back, and I finally managed to catch my breath. I wiped the tears away, still grinning like a fool. We both turned, still smiling, looking back at the car. You're so out of it, Ryan, Chris teased. We were barely moving when we hit the toll booth, maybe 5 miles an hour. You screamed like we were speeding, like 100 miles an hour. Your voice was so high-pitched, sounded like a little girl's scream right before the crash. Hey, I don't sound like a girl, I said, feeling a little embarrassed. I noticed Chris smiling, clearly enjoying my discomfort. I didn't respond to the whole wetting my pants comment. I'm a boy, after all, and I certainly don't wear panties. Though, I didn't feel like pointing out that I'd tried my sisters once or twice, okay, maybe more than that. I shook my head, trying to ignore Chris's teasing. We should probably get out of here, I said. The cops will be here soon. Did you grab the weed from the glove box? No. I didn't know it was there. What if the cops find it? We'll get arrested, and I can't go to jail, I'm too small. I whined, nervously twisting my long hair around my finger. Chris, without saying anything, jumped over the door, reached into the glove box, and pulled out the bag of pot. He looked around before slipping it into his jeans, not in a pocket, but tucked inside his waistband. See, no worries. I've got it. The cops won't bother us now, Chris said with a grin. Stop acting like a little baby. Dry your eyes, and let's get out of here before the cops show up. I wiped away the few tears that were left, frowning. I'm not crying, and I'm not a baby. Boys don't wear panties, so stop teasing me, Chris, I said, walking off the parkway and down a side street. We should hitchhike to Florida, Ryan, Chris said, his thumb sticking out to catch a ride. It's way warmer down there, and there are palm trees. Plus, I heard they have lots of girls in bikinis. Or maybe you'd prefer to find a nice surfer guy, huh? I twisted my hair around my finger, thinking of a response. Florida sounds great. I'd definitely go after the girls in bikinis, no doubt about it, I said, trying to keep up with Chris. Well, look, someone's pulling over for us, Chris said as a car slowed down and stopped. Perfect, Chris said. Let's go, Ryan. Hurry up, you can find yourself some bikini girls, or maybe borrow one of theirs, little lady. Chris laughed as he ran ahead, and I struggled to catch up, noticing how much faster he was. As I finally caught up, Chris was talking to the people in the car and opening the back door for me. Go ahead, little Carrie, ladies first, he joked. I didn't even realize he'd said it until I was sliding into the back seat. There was another guy in the back, sitting with a shoebox. An older man, who looked like a father or grandfather, was driving, and the passenger was a guy about Chris's age. I slide into the car as Chris joins me, shutting the door behind him. All right, welcome aboard, kids. So where are you two headed? The driver asks. In my head, I'm thinking I'd rather be at home, but before I can say anything, Chris speaks up. We're headed down south to Florida. We plan to hang out by the ocean and check out the palm trees, Chris says, and I think to myself that Florida sounds fun, but my mom is going to be really mad if she finds out. Chris shuts his door, and the older man in the front seat turns to look at me, sizing me up. That sounds great, young man. I'm headed to Florida too, so I can take you both along if you'd like. Awesome, right, Carrie? Chris grins, calling me Carrie again. He's clearly enjoying teasing me. I glance at Chris, then back at the older man, my nerves starting to get to me. Chris, are we really doing this? I mean, my mom's going to freak out, I whisper to him, but before he can respond, the guy next to me introduces himself. Hey, I'm Nate, and that kid up front is my older brother, Greg, he says, nodding toward the front seat, where Greg is flipping Nate off. Nate laughs. He's a bit of a character, huh? Greg reaches back, trying to grab Nate, but can't reach him. You're too funny, Nate. So, you two are headed to Florida too? He asks, turning around to face us. Yeah, it's great you guys could pick us up. It's cool that we're all going to Florida, Chris replies, while I sit quietly, feeling more and more uncertain as we continue down the highway. I look over at Chris, and he smiles at me. I want to give him a piece of my mind for teasing me, but Nate speaks again, breaking the silence. Yeah, my brother and I were hitchhiking too before Mr. Harper stopped for us, Nate continues. We'd been on the road for about 100 miles before we met you guys. How old are you two? You really do look like brothers, I ask, not realizing how childish my question sounds. Nate puts a hand on my shoulder, grinning. I'm 15, and my big brother Greg is almost 17. You're a little too young for me, but my brother might date someone like you. Haha. Hey, knock it off, Nate, Greg says, turning around. She's way too young for me, and she's with Chris, he adds, clearly annoyed. I can feel my frustration rising. I'm not a little girl, and I'm certainly not going to take being called that anymore. I'm only small for my age, but I'm still a boy. All right, you guys should get some rest. I'll handle the driving for a bit, Mr. Harper says from the front. It'll be great to stretch our legs when we stop for gas. I decide not to argue and lean back, closing my eyes. I try to remember how I ended up here, but before I know it, we're pulling into a gas station. It's pitch dark outside, and I can't believe I fell asleep. Wow, I can't believe I actually slept through that, I say, looking around. No one answers, as they're just waking up themselves. The car stops, and I suddenly feel something cold against my chest. I look down to find Nate's chocolate shake spilled all over my shirt and pants. Oh man, seriously? These are my only clothes! I exclaim. Sorry about that, I just woke up and put my shake down between us, Nate says, looking apologetic. It was an accident, Carrie. I roll my eyes. Please, stop calling me that, I mutter under my breath. Mr. Harper gets out of the car and heads over to the trunk. All right, everyone calm down. I've got some spare clothes in the back. I was dropping my brother and his family off at the airport, and one of their kids left a suitcase behind. I think the clothes inside should fit you, little one, he says, offering a reassuring smile. Perfect, I think to myself, relieved that I'll be able to change into something clean. This is a good time for a bathroom break, Mr. Harper adds. The boys' room is right over there. I'll grab the suitcase, and we can bring it to the restroom so you can pick something out to change into. I smile, feeling a little relief knowing that I can finally change out of my chocolate shake-covered clothes. They're definitely ruined now. Thank you, I really need some clean clothes, I say, hoping the clothes from the suitcase will fit me. I just hope they're not too goofy or too small. As the others rush off to the restroom, I walk alongside Mr. Harper toward the family restroom. We can use the family restroom. It'll give us some privacy to open the suitcase, and you can change in one of the stalls, he suggests. I feel a little more relaxed, knowing I won't have to undress in front of him. That sounds good. I need to use the bathroom anyway, I say, mentally kicking myself for saying potty. It makes me sound like a little kid. Okay, let me open the door for you, Mr. Harper says as he opens the family restroom and follows me in, locking the door behind him. Go ahead and use the stall to change and handle whatever you need to. I'll look through the suitcase and let you know what your options are. I nod and head for the stall. I'll change in here, and yes, I need to use the bathroom, I answer. Good, but be sure to hand me your wet clothes before you get sick, he adds as I close the stall door behind me. I stand on my soaked underwear, not wanting to touch the bathroom floor, and start taking off my clothes. I slide my hand under the stall door to pass him my clothes. Did your underwear get wet too? I'll get you some from here if you need some. Yes, they're soaked too. I need new underwear, I reply, sitting down on the toilet, feeling awkward but relieved. It's uncomfortable to be in this situation, but it feels good to finally use the bathroom. As I'm finishing up, I hear Mr. Harper's footsteps approach the stall again. Here are some new underwear and a t-shirt. I found one without sleeves because it'll be really hot the closer we get to Florida, but I also found a short sleeve one like the one you had on. That makes sense, especially since it's already starting to warm up, even though it's still night, I reply, grabbing the clothes while still sitting on the toilet. Good. I was thinking it's kind of strange that their suitcase was still in my trunk, but I guess you're lucky it was, Mr. Harper continues. I begin to pull the t-shirt out, and a pair of pink panties fall onto my lap, along with a t-shirt featuring a little girl with the word princess in pink letters. I freeze, my stomach sinking. This is just getting worse. I can't believe this is happening. I hear Mr. Harper again, still rummaging through the suitcase. Looks like there are no jeans or pants, but it's so hot out already, you probably won't need them. All I found were shorts, a few dresses, and skirts. What do you want, little one? My heart sinks. Yeah, I should have mentioned both my nieces are very girly. What would you like to wear? Oh no, not a dress or a skirt. I can't believe this is happening. I look at the shorts. They're way better than a skirt or dress. I just hope Chris doesn't tease me too much about the princess t-shirt, but at least the shorts will cover the panties. The shorts would be great, please. Yeah, I figured. You don't really seem like a girly girl like my nieces. Here you go, sweetie, he says, handing me a pair of bright yellow shorts that are much smaller than I expected. be careful not to drop them on the floor. The bathroom floor is pretty dirty, and the only other options are the dresses and skirts. I don't want a dress or skirt. No, I'm good. I'm getting dressed now, I reply, flushing the toilet and putting the shorts and panties on the seat. I quickly slide the t-shirt over my head. It's a little tight, but I have no choice now. The Barbie panties feel padded in an odd way, unlike my sister's panties. It's strange, but I don't have time to dwell on it. Are you done yet, little one? Mr. Harper asks. I've got the suitcase packed up, and I'll wait for you so you're not alone in here. Great. Like I want anyone to see me in these clothes. But there's nothing I can do now. After getting dressed, I look down. The shorts are small, barely covering the panties, and the t-shirt doesn't come down to the top of the shorts like I'm used to seeing on my sister's friends. But at this point, I just want to get out of the bathroom without anyone noticing. I try to adjust the tiny shorts, pulling them up higher so the bottom of the shirt meets them. But no matter how I adjust, they keep riding up, and I feel them pushing uncomfortably. I just don't want to look like a little kid if I can't get the shirt to match the shorts. Unfortunately, the more I try to adjust, the more I realize how much they make me look like a girl, specifically, a very young girl. Okay, I'm coming out, I mutter, not believing I'm wearing these bright yellow shorts. I hope I don't look as girly as these clothes make me feel. I step out of the bathroom stall and see a floor-to-ceiling mirror. I freeze, staring at the reflection of what seems to be a little girl. My heart drops, and I almost turn around to retreat into the stall. But then I realize, to my shock, that the girl in the mirror is me. I can't believe how much I look like one of the girls in my little sister's class. It feels like I'm a toddler, and it's unsettling. Those clothes fit you perfectly, little one. You look very pretty, Mr. Harper says, noticing my discomfort as I continue staring at myself in the mirror. Let me fix your hair, it's a bit messy. I saw a hairbrush and some other supplies in my niece's suitcase. Before I can protest, I feel him gently start brushing my hair down my back. I've always liked having my hair brushed, whether by my sister or my mom. There you go. Now let me put your hair in a ponytail, it'll help keep your hair off your neck and keep you cooler. He carefully turns me around and ties my hair up. I do feel cooler with my hair out of the way, but I can't shake the feeling of looking like a little girl. All right, we're ready to go, little one. Let's hurry to the car before the boys leave without us, Mr. Harper says, chuckling softly. I walk over to the mirror again, and the sight of my ponytail atop my head makes me feel even more childish. I look down at Mr. Harper as he takes my hand while carrying the suitcase. I want to tell him that I'm not a baby, but instead, I just keep walking with him. As we head out of the restroom, I see the other boys playing in the parking lot, but no one seems to care about my outfit. I'll put your suitcase in the trunk. You can join the boys, but don't get dirty, or you'll need another change of clothes, Mr. Harper says, smiling as he walks to the car. I approach the boys, and Chris, seeing me, bursts out laughing. I like your new clothes, Carrie, he teases. I guess you really liked being called a girl, huh? Otherwise, you'd have corrected Mr. Harper when he called you that. That's not funny, Chris. I told him I was a boy. But I didn't know what to say when he gave me the choice between the shorts, a skirt, or a dress. I look like a girl, a little girl at that. Chris just grins wider. Yeah, but honestly, the shorts are perfect for you. I kind of wish he'd worn a dress or a skirt though. Before I can respond, Mr. Harper calls out, "All right, boys, time to go. Little one, get in the car. The gas is filled up, and we need to get going so we can avoid rush hour traffic." I'm still reeling from how I ended up in this situation. My mom would probably laugh if she saw me in these clothes. I wonder what she's doing. Are they worried about me? Or maybe they don't even know I'm not home. We all pile into the car, a big Lincoln Continental. I end up sitting between Chris and the other boy in the back seat. I can feel everyone starting to nod off as the car heads back onto the freeway. I don't realize how tired I am until the next thing I know, we're stopping for gas again, and everyone is getting out of the car. All right, bathroom break, Mr. Harper says. The last sign said no stops for 100 miles, so boys, the men's room is over there. Little one, the women's room is on the left. I just follow Mr. Harper's instructions, walking toward the left without saying a word. Chris, smiling, heads toward the men's room. I feel a little odd about not saying anything, but I don't argue. I need to set Mr. Harper straight, though. When I'm out of the bathroom, I see Mr. Harper walking back from the men's room and staring at me. All right, little one, hop in the front seat, he says. I climb into the front and watch as Mr. Harper starts the car. The boys ended up catching a ride with some girls in a yellow van. They're going to the same place, so we'll catch up with them at the next gas station. I'm stunned. The gas pumps didn't work? How did they catch a ride? I ask, still trying to process everything. They're going to meet us at the next gas station. It's 100 miles away, so we need to get moving, Mr. Harper says. I can't believe Chris left me behind with this guy and took off with 3 girls. But honestly, that sounds like it might be more fun. That's messed up. They just left me behind to go with a bunch of girls in a van? As soon as I said it, I realized how much it sounded like whining. If I'm being honest, I would have probably done the same thing in their shoes, but I wouldn't have just left my friend behind like that. I glance at Mr. Harper, smiling. Well, boys will be boys. It's nearly 2 hours to the next gas station, so you might want to get some rest, little one. Yeah, I'm pretty tired. Wake me up when we get there, okay? I notice a coat in the front seat, probably left behind by one of the boys. It looks like it could work as a pillow. If you want, you can lie down in the back seat and stretch out. It'll probably be more comfortable than sitting up here, Mr. Harper suggests. That sounds perfect, Mr. Harper. I didn't realize how tiring traveling could be, I reply, as I climb into the back seat. I grab the coat from the front seat, and I find another one in the back. I use them to cover up and settle in. This is much better, Mr. Harper. Thanks for the suggestion, and thanks for the ride too. He smiles through the rearview mirror. No problem, little one. Anything I can do to help, just let me know. I don't think much about the strange smile in the mirror. I'm just too tired to care and quickly drift off to sleep. At some point, I wake up to the car stopping. The sun is out now, and it looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. The car engine shuts off as Mr. Harper parks at the gas pumps. He gets out of the car and sees me sitting up, ready to climb out of the back seat. I close the door behind me and notice him staring at me as I step out. Well, little one, looks like you didn't get all that chocolate shake off earlier, he says, looking me over. I glance down at myself and realize my new yellow shorts and princess t-shirt are covered in dried up chocolate shake. I can't help but sigh. I'm going to need to clean up. It's all over my arms and legs too. It's okay, Mr. Harper reassures me. I've noticed some wet wipes in the suitcase, so you should be able to clean up pretty easily. It doesn't look like there's a family bathroom here, but it's a quieter gas station, so you'll be fine. I'll take this suitcase over to the bathroom for you. Just make sure you lock the door when you're inside, okay? I nod, and before I can say anything more, he grabs my hand and walks with me toward the women's bathroom. Here we are. Take your suitcase, and clean up before you get changed. Don't forget to lock the door, he says as he hands me the suitcase and leaves me alone in the bathroom. After I close the door and lock it behind me, I open the suitcase. The wet wipes are right on top. The bathroom isn't very clean, but I take my shirt off, standing on it as I pull off my sneakers. I notice chocolate shake on my shoes too. I take off my socks and shorts, leaving just the pink Barbie panties on. I dig through the suitcase, hoping there's something better to wear. I'm hoping Mr. Harper made a mistake when he said there was only one pair of shorts, but sure enough, he was right. The rest of the clothes are all dresses or skirts. I really don't want to wear a dress or skirt, but the yellow shorts I had on before are too dirty to put back on. I'm stuck, so I grab a yellow sundress and slip it over my head. It's sleeveless, which is a relief in the heat, but when I look in the mirror, I can't help but feel like a little girl. The dress barely goes down to mid-thigh, exposing a lot of leg, but at least it's longer than the shorts. I toss my dirty clothes into a plastic bag and notice the suitcase is full of girls' clothes, not the ones I was wearing when I got picked up. I wonder what happened to them, but there's no time to dwell on it. I hurry, spotting a pair of pink flip-flops and quickly sliding them on. As I close the suitcase, I hear a knock on the door. I'll be out in a second. I call out, feeling rushed. Take your time, sweetie, a voice calls from the other side. It sounds like a woman, maybe around my mom's age. I open the door and step out, seeing a woman and a little girl, maybe 5 or 6, waiting. Thank you, sweetie. Is your suitcase heavy? It looks so big for a little girl like you to be carrying, the woman says with a smile. I drag the suitcase out of the bathroom, and Mr. Harper notices I'm leaving as he finishes filling up the car. Yes, the suitcase is heavy, I say, and then stop myself. I mean, Mr. Harper carried it over here from his car. So, he's not a relative or anything? Are you okay? The woman asks, watching me closely as her daughter walks into the bathroom. I pause and turn to face her. Yeah, I'm fine, and no, he isn't a relative, I reply. Just as I finish speaking, 4 police cars rush into the parking lot, lights flashing and sirens blaring. They surround the Lincoln and Mr. Harper. Chris and the other 2 hitchhikers jump out of one of the cop cars and start running toward me, looking panicked. Are you okay? Are you okay? They all ask at once, their faces full of fear. I look over at them while the police are putting Mr. Harper in cuffs. Yeah, I'm fine. What's going on? And thanks for leaving without me, Chris. I can't believe you took off at that other gas station, I say, putting my hands on my hips and whining like a little kid. We didn't leave you behind, one of the guys says, though I can't remember his name. We were locked in the bathroom. I stare at him, confused. Wait, locked in the bathroom? What do you mean? Yeah, we were locked inside, and we couldn't get out. We were banging on the door, and finally, someone opened it, but you were already gone, Chris says, sounding close to tears. It's weird seeing Chris like this, almost crying. I don't think about the fact that I'm wearing a little yellow sundress and looking more like a kid than ever. We had the gas station call the cops as soon as we realized you were gone, and that's when we saw him take you, one of the other guys adds. I look at them, still not quite understanding, when 2 police officers approach me. So, he didn't force you into the car? You went with him willingly, one of the officers asks. I suddenly feel nervous. No, I went with him, I say, feeling my stomach drop. He said Chris and the others had gotten into a yellow van and would be at the next gas station. I thought I'd catch up with them there. You're lucky, the officer says, his tone softening. We've been looking for him for a while. We have a witness who reported similar incidents. He pauses, then looks at me. You weren't in danger, so you're free to go. Chris grabs my hand. I was so scared, little one. I didn't know what was going on. This guy was apparently kidnapping kids and holding them for ransom. He'd call their families and demand money. I'm shocked as Chris picks up my suitcase like it's nothing. Oh, and I like your new outfit, by the way. You look pretty in that dress. I look down at myself, suddenly feeling self-conscious again about the dress. I just want to get out of here without anyone noticing how I look. As we start walking, another officer approaches us. Excuse me, can I speak with you 2 for a moment? He asks, and we stop. So, you were hitchhiking when Mr. Harper picked you up? Chris quickly makes up a story. Yes, officer. We were headed to Florida to visit family, he says, glancing at me. I feel uneasy as we're led to the back of a police car. The officer asks for our family's phone numbers to verify our stories. Soon enough, we're on our way to the police station. My parents confirmed I was missing, and they had already arranged for my return. Chris's family, on the other hand, hasn't done anything yet. They're pressing charges against him for stealing the car and crashing it, so he won't be going anywhere for a while. As we arrive at the airport, the officer turns to me. Your parents reported you missing, but we both know you ran away, right? I look up at the officer as we reach the airport entrance. Yeah, I guess so, but I didn't mean to run away. We were just having fun, and one thing led to another, and we ended up hitchhiking. Well, you have two choices, the officer continues. Either I handcuff you to your seat on the plane, or you do as the stewardess says and go home. Which one is it? I'm tired of being treated like a little kid, but there's no choice here. I just want to go home. I'm tired of all this, I reply, wishing the whole thing would be over. All right, I believe you, Mr. Harper says with a smile, but be careful who you hang out with from now on. I glance at him, feeling like he doesn't really know me at all. The stewardess gently takes my hand and leads me onto the plane. It looks like there's a mistake on your ticket. It says Ryan. What's your real name, sweetie? She asks kindly, and I freeze for a moment. I'm wearing a dress, and at this point, it feels safer for them to think I'm a girl rather than a boy in a dress. My name is Carrie, I say hesitantly. All right, Carrie, here's your seat. Buckle up, and I'll be back to check on you after I help the other passengers, okay? She says with a friendly smile. I look around at all the passengers getting settled in, and I can't help but feel a bit anxious about how much trouble I'm going to be in once I get home. I'm not even thinking about how I look, but I realize I'm wearing a dress and appear much younger than I am. As the plane takes off, I hear the stewardess return to my seat. All right, sweetie, come with me. Let's get you cleaned up real quick. I stand up, feeling her take my hand as we walk to the handicap bathroom. We'll clean you up and then you can have a little rest, okay, sweetie? She says, her voice soothing. I smile at her, feeling comforted by her kindness and her bright, friendly face. Okay, sounds good, I reply, rubbing my eyes as I follow her. Looking in the mirror, I see how dirty my face is, and she starts wiping it down with a wet washcloth. All right, sit on the toilet, and I'll brush your hair for you, sweetie. I nod, not fully paying attention as she starts brushing my long hair. I don't realize it until she finishes. Okay, I'll give you some privacy while you use the bathroom, sweetie. I'll wait for you outside and bring you back to your seat when you're done, she says with a gentle smile. Thanks for helping with my hair, I say, smiling back at her. I quickly take care of things because I don't want to be late getting back to my seat. Good girl, I hear as I step out of the bathroom. I turn around to see the stewardess smiling at me again. Do you like your hair like this? When I was your age, I always had my hair in pigtails, with little baby bangs. I have no idea what pigtails are, but I don't say anything. Yeah, I do like it like this, I lie, not really caring anymore. Little did I know, my hair was now in pigtails, with yellow hair ties to match the sundress I was wearing. When I sit back down, the stewardess leans over and buckles me back into my seat. I notice the short dress is riding up a little too high, almost revealing the pink Barbie panties I'm wearing, so I quickly grab the blanket and place it over my lap to hide it from view. Before I can relax, the plane hits a bump, and I look out the window, seeing that we've just landed. Wow, that was quick. I can't believe we're here, I say, amazed by how fast the flight went. Did you sleep well, sweetie? The stewardess asks, her voice full of warmth. Yes, I did. I can't believe we're already here. This was my first flight, I reply. She smiles, pleased with my response. I'm glad you enjoyed your flight. But now we just have to wait for the other passengers to get off the plane before I can take you to your family, okay? Okay, I'm ready when you are, I say, watching as people start to file off the plane. It's funny to think that I was the first one on the plane, and now I'm going to be the last one off. As the last passengers leave, the stewardess gently takes my hand again. "Do you see your mommy yet, little one?" she asks. I look around and, suddenly, there she is, standing all alone, her hand over her mouth, staring at me in shock. "Yes, that's her," I say, lifting my arm and pointing toward my mom. She looks me up and down, taking in my outfit, a little yellow flowered sundress with no sleeves, pink flip-flops, and my hair in pigtails with matching yellow hair ties. I meet her eyes as she rushes toward me, pulling me into a tight hug. "Oh, I was so worried about you, sweetie. I'm so glad you're okay." The stewardess, now standing nearby, adds with a smile, "She was such an angel on the plane. Carrie, you be a good girl for your mommy, okay?" I look up at her, feeling embarrassed but grateful. "Yes, I will, and thank you for everything." The stewardess waves as she heads back toward the plane. My mom kneels down in front of me, playing with one of my pigtails. "I'm a little surprised to see you in such a pretty outfit, sweetie. Is this your suitcase that the stewardess left here?" I'm at a loss for words. I can't believe my mom sees me dressed like this, looking like a little girl. Yeah, it's mine, Mommy, and I can explain everything, okay?" I say, but as soon as I say it, I realize I didn't mean to claim the suitcase as mine. It was given to me, but I suppose it is mine now. I can't believe I'm walking around with a suitcase full of dresses and skirts. "I'm sure you'll explain it, but I can see how pretty you look in that dress," Mom says with a smile. "We're going to stop by the mall and get you some more dresses since you like wearing them so much. You look so pretty in that one." I don't know what to say. "Okay, Mommy," I respond, though inside, I'm freaking out. What's happening? How did I end up wearing a dress, and now we're going to the mall to buy more dresses? What am I going to do? I nervously play with one of my pigtails. I try to think of a way to explain this. Maybe I'll tell her the truth, that everyone thought I was a girl, and I just went along with it. But what if she thinks I want to be a girl? If I lie and say they forced me to wear these clothes, it doesn't make sense. Why didn't I change back into my regular clothes? And why did I say the suitcase was mine when it's filled with girls' clothes? I should have said no when Mommy said we were going to buy more dresses. I should have said I don't want to wear dresses anymore. But instead, I just said okay, like I'm actually excited about it. I can't believe I agreed to it. What is wrong with me? As I walk toward the mall, I feel the dress bounce lightly against the back of my legs, and strangely, I don't mind it. It feels kind of neat, almost like I'm walking around without the restrictions of pants or shorts. I won't admit it, but it's kind of freeing. I don't want to tell my mom any of this, though. She'll think I like wearing dresses, and honestly, I guess I do. But there's no way I'm admitting that to anyone, especially not my mom. I can't believe I just admitted to myself that I actually enjoy wearing dresses. I'm relieved no one can hear my thoughts, so I giggle softly to myself. "Okay, sweetie, we're here. Do you need help with your seatbelt, or can you do it yourself?" Mommy asks, pulling the minivan into a parking spot at the mall. "Mommy, I'm not a baby." "I can get the seatbelt off," I snap, turning to try and undo it, but nothing happens. I pull, twist, and press the button, but it's stuck. I start to panic, and before I can try again, I see Mommy walking over to my side of the van, opening the door. "Mommy, I can't get it open," I say, feeling embarrassed. Mommy looks at me with a knowing expression. "Let me help, sweetie. I know you're just a little one, like the stewardess said when she walked you off the plane." I feel my face flush. "I'm not a baby, Mommy," I protest, feeling a little frustrated. Mommy smacks my hand away gently and presses the button. The seatbelt unbuckles immediately. "There you go, little one. And fix your dress, I can see your panties." I freeze as I look down at my dress, noticing that the seatbelt has pushed it up, revealing my panties. My mind races, and I realize how soft and silky they feel. I can't believe I'm thinking this. "Oh, Thank you, Mommy. I didn't know my panties were showing. I'll fix my dress so you can't see them anymore, I say, not realizing that I just referred to the panties as mine. I shake my head, trying to clear my thoughts. What's wrong with me? Why did I say that? I'm supposed to be growing up, not acting like a little kid. As we walk to the mall, Mommy reaches down and takes my hand. I catch myself gripping her hand tightly, wondering why I let her hold it. I shouldn't be acting like this. I'm almost a teenager. I should be standing up for myself, not letting her lead me around like a child. Is your hair in your eyes again, sweetie? She asks, noticing the hair falling over my face. I think it's time to fix that once and for all. I glance up at the hair salon, panic starting to set in. I know what's coming. She's going to make me cut my hair like Dad always threatened to do. Mommy, I don't want my long hair cut short, I whine softly, almost in tears. I can't believe I just said that. Please don't cut it, I like my long hair. I realize how childish I sound, but I can't help it. I don't want her to cut my hair. I don't want to look like a little girl, even though in this moment, I might as well be. I smile, feeling relieved that I can finally change out of the chocolate shake-covered clothes. They're ruined now, but at least I'll have clean clothes. Thank you so much. I really need some clean clothes, I say, hoping that the clothes from the suitcase will fit. I just hope they aren't too odd or don't fit properly. The other guys head off quickly, rushing to the restroom as I walk beside Mr. Harper to the bathrooms. We can use the family restroom so we can open the suitcase and you can change inside one of the stalls, okay? I feel relieved, knowing I won't have to undress in front of anyone. Yeah, okay, that sounds good. I need to use the bathroom anyway, I respond, realizing I just said potty. I mentally cringe at myself. Alright, let me get the door for you, Mr. Harper says as he opens the family bathroom and locks it once I step inside. Go into the bathroom stall, use the toilet, and I'll look through the clothes to tell you what options are available. I nod and head toward the stall. Okay, I'll get undressed and use the bathroom. Good, but hand me your wet clothes so you don't get cold, he adds. I close the bathroom stall door and start getting undressed, standing on my clothes to avoid touching the bathroom floor, which I know could be dirty. I hand my clothes under the stall to him. Did your underwear get wet too? If you need some new ones, I'll get them for you. Yes, they're soaked too, I reply, sitting on the toilet. It feels awkward, but I just want to get this over with. I hear Mr. Harper's footsteps as he returns with a fresh set of clothes. Here's some clean underwear and a t-shirt. The t-shirt is sleeveless since it's going to be really hot. Or, if you prefer, I found a t-shirt with short sleeves like the one you had on. That makes sense, since it's starting to feel warmer, even though it's still nighttime, I respond as I take the clothes while finishing up. Good, Mr. Harper continues, I was thinking it was strange to find this suitcase still in my trunk, but you're lucky it was here. I start pulling the shirt out and notice a pair of pink panties falling into my lap along with a t-shirt that has Princess written on it. I can't believe this is happening. I'm looking through the suitcase, and it looks like there are no pants, just shorts and a few dresses and skirts. What would you like to wear? Mr. Harper asks. I'm stunned, not sure how to respond. I should have mentioned that my nieces are very girly. They wear things like this, he adds, as if that makes it any better. The shorts would be great, please, I say, still trying to shake off the embarrassment. Mr. Harper's hand reaches under the stall door to give me the clothes. Here you go, sweetie. Make sure you don't drop them on the floor. I grab the yellow shorts, feeling the awkwardness of the situation. I'll get dressed now, I say quickly, hoping to get out of this as fast as I can. I take the clothes and change into them. The shorts are small, but I don't have much of a choice. The top barely reaches the waistband, but I'm not worried about it anymore. Don't forget to join me on Patreon for exclusive content.